Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. These talks cover a period of 4 years between 1935 and 1939 and were all recorded by Sri Munagala Venkataramaya, later to be known as Swami Ramanananda Saraswati, a very old disciple of Sri Ramana Maharshi. Though a Telugu by birth, he speaks English and Tamil fluently and is conversant with Sanskrit. These are necessary qualifications for one who wishes to record the conversations of Sri Bhagavan with various disciples and visitors. The 4 years that are covered here in this book were the days when the ashramam reached the summit of its glory. Maharshi's health was on the whole good, and the hall where he sat was open day and night to welcome one and all. Visitors flocked there from every corner of the world. There was hardly a country that was not represented at one time or another. The World War naturally interfered with this influx, though the number of Indian visitors steadily increased as time went on. But it was these conversations with many Westerners that were especially interesting. The modern tendency towards materialism and irreligion on which the West often prides itself met its match here. Sri Bhagavan glowed like sun, and even those who did not understand him or agree with his words were fascinated and could not help but be elevated by his presence. You are the self, tells us, nothing but the self. Anything else is just imagination. So be the self here and now. There is no need to run off to a forest or shut oneself in a room. Carry on with your essential activities, but free yourself from association with the doer of them. Self is the witness. You are that. Example after example is given in these talks in language to suit all tastes and mentalities. The reading of the book automatically drives one inward to the source. It is itself a sufficient sadhana. Do not delude yourself. You are already that. There is nothing more to be obtained. Only false association to be shed. Limitation to be recognized as illusory. Sri Ramana's method of doing this is well known. It is called self-enquiry. Always and at all times seek for the source of the ego, the apparent actor, and on the attainment of that goal, he tells us, the ego will drop away of its own accord and nothing will be left but the all-blissful self. But this is not the place to go into details of method for those interested. The necessary books are easily obtained from Sri Ramana Ashramam and other platforms. Talk 1, 15th May 1935. A wandering monk was trying to clear his doubt. How to realize all the world is God? How to realize that all the world is God? Maharshi, if you make your outlook that of wisdom, you will find the world to be God. Without knowing the Supreme Spirit, that is Brahman, how will you find his all-pervasiveness? Talk 2. Someone inquired about the nature of perception. Maharshi, whatever state one is in, the perceptions partake of that state. The explanation is that in the waking state, that is Jagrat, the gross body perceives gross names and forms. In Swapna, that is dream state, the mental body perceives the mental creations in their manifold forms and names. In Shushupti or deep, dreamless sleep, The identification with the body being lost, there are no perceptions. Similarly, in the transcendental state, identity with the Brahman places the man in harmony with everything, and there is nothing apart from his self. A questioner asked as to the nature of happiness. Maharshi, if a man thinks that his happiness is due to external causes and his possessions, it is reasonable to conclude that his happiness must increase with the increase of possessions and diminish in proportion to their diminution. Therefore, if he is devoid of possessions, his happiness should be nil. What is the real experience of man? Does it conform to this view? In deep sleep, the man is devoid of possessions, including his own body. Instead of being unhappy, he is quite happy. Everyone desires to sleep soundly. The conclusion is that happiness is inherent in man and is not due to external causes. One must realize his self in order to open the store of unalloyed happiness. Maharshi was asked by an educated young man, "How do you say that the heart is on the right, whereas the biologists have found it to be on the left?" The man asked for authority. Maharshi, "Quite so. The physical organ is on the left. That is not denied. But the heart which I speak is non-physical and is only on the right side. It is my experience. No authority is required by me. Still, you can find confirmation in a Malayalam Ayurvedic book and in the Sita Upanishad." And he produced the quotation or mantra from the latter and repeated the sloka from the former. Mr. Friedman, an engineer, remarked on the subject of grace. A salt doll diving into the sea will not be protected by a waterproof coat. It was a very happy simile and was applauded as such. Maharshi added, "The body is the waterproof coat." End of talk 5.